Hey YouTube, how's it going? This is Dave here. It's been a while since I've done a video. I've been doing a lot of traveling for work, so I just haven't had time to get out here, get in the garage. Actually, it's been real hot lately. But this weekend, it's Memorial Weekend. It's cooled down considerably because it's been raining, and it's been like monsooning the last couple of days. So figured jump in the garage, do a little work on the Cutlass. Working brake lines, we're working fuel lines, we're working lines, we're watching some Optima Streetcar Challenge. We're having a good time here. So, let me get you set up right here so you can see. Hopefully that is easy enough. Sorry about that. Hopefully I'm not too crooked there. But what we're working on today, pretty straightforward. Doing brake lines. One of the things I'm probably going to have to do is get the welder out to put these tabs in place on the rear end. So what that'll allow me to do is get the brake line in and then put the clips in behind it. Allows you to lock them in place. And a lot of guys, they use like large hose clamps, and I guess I could do that, but I would prefer it not be vibrating all over the place and potentially wear the line out. A lot of guys just put it right over the hard line. I finally got the adapters that I needed. These stainless steel adapters that are the right thread pitch. Shame on me. Should have just measured them the last time. I didn't. So this is what I get. But let's get to it, guys. I'm going to show you how to make the copper nickel brake lines. And hopefully you guys will learn something from it if you didn't know it already. Alrighty, guys. So here we are. We're underneath the car. We're actually done the rear suspension and done the rear brake lines. It does not look like much, but I'm going to grab the drop blade. Hopefully this will help you see. These are all the stainless. This is the new stainless braided line that is supplied in the Core 3 kit. I'm actually tapping into the existing brake line. This one's still good here, so I'm going to preserve that one just because it's really hard to rerun that one under the frame rail. And that one's actually in pretty good shape. And then you can see, not sure if I can get this very well. You can see the new mount here, and this is the actual copper nickel lines. You can see on this side I use a support that's already existing. Loop the brake line, comes again with the braided stainless line, comes around over to the underside here. You can kind of see it through there where it attaches. I don't know how well you can see that, but see right about there. Sorry if you hear it bumping. And I run it over the axle tube. And then on this side, I said I wasn't going to do this, but you know, I bend it so I don't know. Well, you can see it over here, but I bend it over the rear like it was in the factory. And then here, sorry, eclipse action by the camera, but I bring it out in front of the spring, and I'm using a hose clamp right there, and then it just loops down and under and hooks to the brake caliper. But it's the cleanest way I could come up with doing it. And I don't know if you can see me really well, so I'll turn around. Hopefully I'm not drowning you guys in light. Let's swing it around this way. See, oh my goodness, wow, that is a lot of light. Oh, let's just shine it down a little. Hopefully the glare isn't too bad. But you know, that's it. I got the shocks in. They're done. Sway bars in. This is basically done. Now all I have to do is go up along the frame rail on the driver's side and break that line. Hopefully it'll behave itself. And then what I'll do is I'll separate the line there. I'll get an adapter that I'll screw into it. Turn it over to AN at the one spot that's right up along the frame rail there. Hopefully be able to break the line there. I think I will be able to, just because it looks like it's good shape there. And then what I'll do is I'll use the union that's there. I've got plenty of the adapters for the line. The AN to, I'm not sure if it's pipe thread. I don't think it's pipe thread, but might be. But then from there up to the front, I'll run the copper nickel line. But what I'm going to do first, before I do that, I will most likely finish running all the fuel lines and all of the transmission lines and start dropping the exhaust in, because the car's facing in the direction where I can actually get the exhaust and all of that in. It's not that big a deal with the car, with the exhaust in and everything done. From that perspective, to finish off those lines, because everything's like close to the side of the car there, I could care less about if there's any issue, if there's any, which we'll call it in a way, exhaust, which it will not be. One of the things that I will show you guys is how to do a flare for this. It's very straightforward. Single flare for the AN. It's actually for the it's stronger pressure. It has to be 37 degrees. Sorry, 37 degree versus 45 degree flare. That's very important because that is what the Army Navy taper is on the flare versus the more typical 45 degrees. So you're not going to be able to easily pick this up at like an Advanced Auto Parts or something. I ordered it from Summit. So that's it for right now. Hey guys, how you doing? Back on a different day here. Just trying to put a bunch of things together. I got some new stuff in here I'll show you in this video, trying to make a little bit more content in a single video. But I wanted to show you how to put together these brake lines. It's a single flare, so it works on like an AN line, so it would work on the end of this. So it's a single flare, and it's needs to be 37 degrees versus 45 degrees. More traditional flares fittings are, the flaring tools are 45 degree. You'll find a lot of them at your Advanced Auto Parts, your AutoZones and stuff like that. What I ended up doing was actually ordering a kit from Summit, and you can see it right there. This guy, it's very simple, very straightforward. Yeah, look inside the kit here. It has the actual, hopefully it doesn't go flying here. It's got the flaring tool there, and then it's got the varying sizes that you would need to hold the line down. So if we just open this guy up, and it's not that expensive. I think it was less than I think it was maybe $35, something like that. Took a little time to ship. So you open this guy up. What you're going to want to do, you're going to have a ferrule, and one of the things that you're going to want to do is take your fitting, slide that on first. I can't stress that enough, because if you don't do that, then you can't get the thing actually back on. And you want to put your ferrule on there as well, because what this will do is sit on the back side of the flare. And this is a 3/16, and 3/16 corresponds to a 3AN. That's what I'm using on my brake lines. So what I want to do is leave a little bit sticking up out of the top. And the main reason for that is because I want to make sure that it has a very good size flare. So, I mean, you know, like a, man, I don't even know what that is. Less than 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/16 of an inch, something like that. Eyeball it. And then you just tighten her up. And you got to make sure that you get this pretty darn tight. So what I like to use, they give you this tool here, the flaring tool. They give you this extra piece here. Get that guy in there and crank her down, because you want this to have a very good grip on the line there. And this may be actually a little crooked. I'm looking at this. Let me loosen it up. You got to make sure that the thing is square at least. So there we go. Whew, I was going the wrong way there. Alright. Yep, that looks better. And let me just loosen it up just a little bit. Let's loosen this guy up real quick, because I want to just make sure that that's... There we are. Tighten that guy up. I'm going to do it just a little bit more exaggerated so you guys can see it. And then this is pretty straightforward, so you just loosen this up. Doobie-doobie-doobie-doobie-doo. And it's raining outside today, so I figured I'd get in the garage and knock out some more work. I got done a lot of yard work today, so I'd be able to get in here and do some more work, constantly moving forward. Alright, so before I tighten it up, I want to show you what I'm doing here. So I don't know how well you can see it, but it's inside the end of the brake line now. So what you want to do, it's nice and square. You're just going to want to start tightening this thing up. So let her slide in, tighten it up, and let's see. Okay, and oh wow! Ooh, that was tight. All right, so there you go. And then we can loosen her back up. Loosen this guy here. Boom. Right out. You got a nice flare there on the end. And then make sure that you really kind of deburr the end of this thing. You can feel it's kind of rough once the teeth get into it. But you're going to want to clean that up as best you can. Okay. Yeah, okay. And then this is actually going to be a little bit difficult to get on there, but I use a set of pliers here. Bring her forward, and boom. There you go. Right on the back side of it. And then this guy is good to go for when it comes time to screwing it on a fitting. So then you have this guy here, and the reason why it's, by the way, the reason why it's 37 degrees is because that actually holds more pressure. For brake lines, you need stuff like that. But so then when you go to tighten this guy up, she bottoms out on it, and you got yourself one solid brake line. All right, guys and girls, how you doing? We're back over here by the trunk, and you'll notice now in the trunk there is even less space. We've got the Aeromotive A1000 pump and integrated fuel cell, has the return unit and everything. I've talked ad nauseum about that. You can see that the line's hooked up going to the filter in there, and you can't see it very well, but there's the controller for it. And now there's a new tank here. What this actually is the ice tank for the supercharger system. So you'll notice that it has a drain on it and two lines. I'm actually getting, these are like 5/8 lines are on there. I'm actually going to upgrade it to 1-inch lines to feed the ZL1 intercooler up in the front. But this takes the place of the, I think it's a Ford Motorsports pump that I originally used, because this has an integrated Roll 2200 pump in it. And I don't know how well you can see down in there, but this guy's already mounted and has the wires, the flying leads out of it. I'll actually have this set up so that it runs off of ignition, but I'll also have like a integrated switch in there as well to override it while I'm sitting in the pits. But this has a nice big opening on it, and what that's going to let me do is get the big bags of ice, fill that up when I want to drive around, you know, race the track or something like that. And I got the drain right there that I'll actually, this is going to be moved forward just a little bit, so it's not actually on the rail for this. But I'm going to move everything forward a little bit. I'm going to cut the one mounting ear off there and just use 3, the 1, 2, and the 1 up front, and then the 2 down here to mount her in. But it fits beautifully in here. And this will be my intercooler setup. This will be my tank here, so I'll have a ton of storage capacity. And that saves me from figuring out what I originally was going to do up here in the front. I apologize. Here it's a bit of a mess, but originally I was thinking about mounting a tank in here, and then I was going to try to come up with a way to mount the pump there. Don't need to. Yeah, what I'm going to end up doing, I'm just going to run the lines. They're going to run along the driver's side frame rail, and then they're going to come up, and then they're going to, one's going to go into here, the other one's going to go down into the return will go in here, and then the feed will go down through the intercooler, and you can see a little bit over there, but like the 2 lines, so the one over there and then the one up at the top, what it'll do is the feed line will go into the bottom of the intercooler, it'll come up, go into the bottom of the brick here inside the supercharger, and then the return will go back out to the tank. So I'm going to be running 1-inch lines on that, and actually see this is probably like the most bottleneck here. Eventually, I'll probably upgrade this. So I'll take a measurement on all the fittings, but for the most part, it's pretty simple install. I'll bring the line. I'll have to buy the lines. I'm just gonna end up getting them from McMaster or something like that, because they sell huge amounts of it, and then I'll just clamp it on. And I do have the adapter fitting somewhere up there to snap it in place, so I can very easily do it. But I got to be honest with you. It's going to take me a little bit to find the damn things. I know they're somewhere over there. But as you can tell, it's a nightmare in here again. And we're watching The Martian. All right. But another rainy day. We're just kind of in here kicking ass. So stay tuned. Got more to come.